morning to the students of class 5. Today we are going to start our new chapter, which is a poem Stopping My Words on a Snowy Evening, which was written by Robert Frost. So first let me tell you that who is the Robert Frost. Robert Frost was a great American poet. He was born in 1874 in San Francisco and died in 1963. He was awarded with 2 Pulitzer Prize for his poetry. Robert Frost mainly wrote nature poetry. All his poems hold the description of nature. Some of his famous poems are The Train Not Taken, Mending Wall, and the poem that we are going to read today, that is Stopping My Word on a Snowy Evening. Have a look at the title of the poem, Stopping My Words on a Snowy Evening. The title itself tells that this poem falls under the genre of nature. Look at these 3 words, words, snowy, evening. Woods, here woods means the forest area. Snowy is the weather, that means it's the snow time, and evening is the time of the day. So all these 3 elements, all these 3 words are elements of nature, which tells that this poem is a nature poem. Let's start the poem now. I will read first stanza, then I explain it, then the second stanza. Whose moods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with. Whose moods these are, I think I know. Here we come to know that Robert Frost has come to woods. Woods means open area. He has come to a forest and he thinks that he knows whose forest it is. His house is in the village though. So here he tells that the owner of the forest stays in a nearby village. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. In these 2 lines, he said that the owner of the forest will not be able to see 2 things. First, he cannot see Robert Frost stopped in his forest, and second thing, he will not be able to see is that his woods is filling up with snow. It means that all the trees, leaves and all the forest filling up with snow. Moving on to the second stanza. My little horse must think it could to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lane, the darkest evening of the year. My little horse must think it could. Here, could means strange. In this line, we come to know that Robert Frost is not alone in the forest. He was accompanied by a little horse. And Robert Frost tells that it seems very strange to his horse. What are the strange things that horse is feeling? Look at the next 3 lines. To stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and the frozen lane, the darkest evening of the year. Here the horse is feeling strange that how my owner had stopped today in a place where there is no farmhouse nearby. See, generally earlier when people used to go around, they used to go on the horseback or any animal car, and they used to stop in farmhouse so that the buggy owner and the animal could take some rest. So here when there is no farmhouse near for taking any rest and the weather is such chilly and it's snowing all over, so it's very strange for his little horse that why my owner has stopped here in such a place where there is no farmhouse. Another strange thing to the horse is between the woods and frozen lake. The location that they stopped is one side there is a deep forest and on the other side there is a frozen lake. That means that the lake water has all frozen up in cold. There is no water in lake that can flow. On the other side there is deep dark forest and on other side there is frozen lake. And in the between that, the poet and the horse is standing. And then the third thing that seems strange to his horse is that it is the darkest evening of the year. See, everything is dark. Imagine you are in a dark and deep forest and it's the evening of the year. No moonlight, it's all dark, all around, you cannot see anything. So naturally, not even the little horse, anybody can feel strange to stop in such place, in such condition, right? So, what are the three things that seems strange to the horse? First, there is no farmhouse nearby. Second, there is a deep dark forest on which one side it is deep dark forest and on the other side it is the frozen lake. And the third thing that seems strange to the horse is that it is the darkest evening of the year. Moving on to third stanza, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. He gives his harness bells a shake. See, this is a sign of an animal to communicate with the owner. That animal shakes its harness bell and make a sound with it to communicate with the owner. What is the harness bell? The leather strap that attached to the body of the horse with the cart is harness, and the bell attached to it is a harness bell. And when the horse moves it, it makes a sound, and the horse is shaking his harness bell now to ask the owner if there is some mistake done by him, because there is no place they can take rest in. The only other sound that can be heard except the harness bell are the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Downy flake means small, fluffy, soft snowballs. You know, when wind comes, when wind carries snowflake, when the wind carries the snowflake, it makes a hushing sound, a very rough type of sound. So that sound is audible besides the sound of harness bell. In the last stanza, the poet says, the woods are lovely, dark and deep. In this line, the poet gave us the description of the woods, and this is also a visual imagine. The description of the woods, it's a very beautiful and lovely woods. It is dark wood, means dense, dark forest area. And it is the darkest evening of the year, so you cannot see anything in between the forest area. And it's deep. The entire forest is all filled up with trees and endless roads, so it was deep as well. So the woods are described in three words: lovely, dark and deep. And this is a visual imagination. Next line. But I have promises to keep, though the place and the weather is so appealing to the poet, but still he has to leave the place immediately because he has promises to keep. That means he has responsibilities and duties to fulfill. He has responsibilities and duties towards his family, friends and his country. So he has to move out from the forest now because he made responsibility to take up. Moving on to the last stanza, that is, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So, in the last stanza, the poet described the woods. He said that the woods are very beautiful, the woods are lovely, and it's dark and deep. That means that it is a very dense, dark forest area, and it is the darkest evening of the year. So you cannot see anything between the woods, and it's deep. The entire forest is all filled up with darkness, with trees and endless roads, so it was deep as well. So the woods are described in three words: lovely, dark and deep. This is a visual imagination. Next line, but I have promises to keep. Though the weather and the place is so appealing to the poet, poet, but still he has to go out from the woods because he has so many promises to keep. That means he has duties and responsibilities which he has to fulfill. He has duties and responsibility towards his family, towards his friends, and towards his country. Now he has to go out from this forest because he has responsibility to take up. And miles to go before I sleep. Here some same line is repeated twice. And miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. It means that the poet has to leave this place immediately so that he can complete his journey today and go home and take some rest. I hope you have understand this poem, read this poem and enjoy it. Thank you so much.